welcome my Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Welcome to your work, career, and vocation read for August and September 2021. I am your reader, Angelo, Lyons, Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of DrawingTheCircle production since 1998, author of Words of Grace from a Professional Witch on Kindle. The Archangel of Lyons, Angelo Lyons as a matter of fact, but you can call me Mal. Hi. Hey, my Rams, hope you are well. Let's get up in this gig. Work, career, vocation, 3 levels of power. There's a link in the description box from Carolyn Myss, PhD, explaining what the 3 levels of power are. A lovely little video. I think it's part 1 of 3, so you can at least get the basics there, so I don't have to keep explaining it over and over and over again. But we are going to do a 12-card spread here, 3 cards from 4 different decks. I'll call them out as they go to help you bring into alignment your life purpose, work, what you do to survive in the world, your career, your passion, your hunger, your thirst, right? The thing that really fuels the soul, or your soul fuels it, depending on how you want to look at that. It's probably both. And your vocation, your spiritual calling. So it's like the physical, the mental, emotional, and the spiritual, the 4 lower bodies in holistic health, or however you want to see that, 4 levels of power within the 3. Let's just do this. We're going to start with Caroline Myss archetype deck to get you the 8th chakra. Oh, there's chakras galore in these readings. We'll be looking at all 8 of them from the star center all the way down to the root. And if you would like to book me for a reading, there's a video I made explaining not just how to do that, because it's not that hard, but what goes on before, during, and after a reading for myself and my clients. Yeah. So I guess that's about it. Both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. It's a general read. Let's all be adults. We know what a general read means at this point, unless I'm your first reading you've ever watched on YouTube. So let's do this. Ready? I ran my errands. I checked my emails. I primped myself a little bit for you. Let me give you the very best and the very blessed I got. Breathe. Because here we go. I call upon my collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters of life purpose, and the higher selves of all involved. Please, what are the dominant 8th chakra archetypes in play for the Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading in their work, career, vocation? Let's start with work, their literal level of power, their survival intuition. In their career, heart, third eye, crown stuff there. But what's the 8th chakra dynamic there? The dominant archetype in their passion, their hunger, their thirst, their personal level of power, their creative intuition. And what's going on in the 8th chakra dynamic for their, oh, that one, no, okay, their vocation, their spiritual calling, the star, the destiny that beckons them forth. Let's see who you got. Now, you already know what these are, because I always put them in the title. Let's see how brave you are. Well. Yeah, these kind of make sense. You got the healer in your work, so you don't have to be a literal, like, hands-on healer or anything like that. All different types of healers. Sometimes just listening to people is a healing act. The vampire. Now, this might be you, but it might be someone that you're dealing with. In other words, the lesson in your creative intuition in your career has to do with dealing with vampirism in some way, shape, or form. We'll get there. I have a video on this as well on the channel, which vampires and witches. You might want to check that out. And you've got the Hermit, brilliant card to get in vocation. So Caroline Myss did us a wonderful service by boiling down these archetypes, which you could talk about forever, onto a card, right? The shadow and the light, the toxic and the healthy, the lead to the gold, however you want to play that alchemical healing language. And with the healer in your work, this is pretty cool. This whole level of power really governs the lower 3 chakras, how you navigate through the physical world. So we all know what a toxic healer is, right? The shadow attribute, taking advantage of those who need help, not great. Failing to care for oneself. Now I will say, I visited my family in Saratoga My sister, she wasn't my stepsister, but we stopped calling each other steps years ago, like decades ago. And her husband's a neurologist, right? And they were just on the phone all the time dealing with healthcare companies and how really the healthcare system in and of itself, at least here in America, really is taking advantage of those they're supposed to be helping just through the paperwork even the doctors have to go through. Insane. But here's the light attribute. Passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit. Ability to help transform pain into healing, which is the healer's journey, not just the hero's journey. So, you know, like I said, you can be an active listener, a counselor, even amongst your friends. Usually there's one healer in the family, and we're also usually the black sheep, right? Because nobody wants to heal, not from you, right? They want to hear it from anybody else but you. So this is very, very powerful and really very, very helpful for particularly dealing with vampires in your career. Now, as I said, I did a video, oh my God, what did I do that? 2017, 2018, back at the Silver Broom in Sayville, called Vampires and Witches. And it's 2 hours. I used to have it on Vimeo on demand. I took it off Vimeo on demand because vampirism, it's at epidemic proportions on planet Earth. And so I put it on YouTube. So I'll try and remember to put that link in the description box, or at least in the comments for this video. The shadow attribute of the vampire: depleting others for their psychic survival, chronic complaining, and codependency. So as soon as somebody like really goes into that chronic complaining, particularly clients, right? Particularly clients in my career as an artist and a reader and a teacher and stuff. Well, did you try this? No, that won't work. I'm like, we haven't tried it yet, right? Once or twice, that's fine. But when it's chronic, you're dealing with a vampire. And codependency, which, let's call it what it is an addiction, because vampires, and everybody has vampiric moments, right? You can have an archetype, a reason, a season, or a lifetime. This is probably not you if you're walking your path. But certainly if you're accessing chi, prana, spirit this way, you don't have to source off of people this way. A healthy interdependent relationship, regardless of form, is one where there is an equal give and take. It's like two people building their fires individually, and then their two fires sort of join into a larger whole. Can you tell I'm a quarter Sicilian with all the hand movements? The light attribute makes you aware that someone or something is draining your life force. So this might be someone you're dealing with in your career. You know, your creative pursuits, like how many people work jobs in order to go home and then do their career, whether it's art or what have you. And this could certainly be you. Becoming aware makes you aware that someone or something, that's the other thing, something, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be a person, is draining your life force. Carolyn Mace once said, I never forgot it, she said, you know, misery is a form of intuition, right? So if you're really miserable, look around you. Look around, leaves are brown, and the sky is a hazy shade of winter, right? What's draining you? What is the black hole you keep putting into that does not give dividends on the investment? Luckily, you've got the Hermit in the 8th chakra. Great place to have it. Now, the shadow attribute, a little similar to the healer here, withdraws from society out of fear or negative judgment of others, refusing to help those in need. So you can see the shadow here is a little that. Now, I've been in Hermit mode since, let's just say 2020. You know why. And it's been of a great benefit to me. I'm certainly no longer dealing with codependent patternings. I'm good on my own, thanks. The light attribute seeks solitude to focus intently on inner life. Hello, that's me. Serves personal creativity. So you've got a healing family archetype, a wild card family archetype, and a wisdom family archetype. You put these three together, the lessons that you're learning will really help you not just fulfill your life purpose, but help you find your life purpose to be fulfilling. Yeah. All right, next three cards down. Daughters of the Moon Tarot. This will give us the internal stuff. So if these archetype cards are the 8th chakra, these will be the heart, throat, third eye, crown stuff. The internal world, the internal world. Please take a nice deep breath. As I call upon my goddesses of fire and the sign of Aries, please, 3 cards in clarity. for the Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading. What's going on inside of them? Particularly, we're looking at that vampire archetype there, because the throat chakra, right? Vampires don't bite you on the elbow. They might. They bite you symbolically, at least, on the throat, right? Trying to steal your willpower, particularly in codependent patterns. But think about the healer, the vampire, and the hermit. So what's going on? Heart, throat, third eye, crown. In their work, we'll do these face down. In their career with that vampire archetype, just leave the card in my hand, please. That's the one. And the hermit in their vocation. Let's look. Uno, dos, tres. 2 court cards and a major arcana card. Now, this is the internal world, so this is not necessarily people in your outside world, unless someone's really up in your energy field. What I love about Daughters of the Moon Tarot, literally writes the name of the zodiac sign on it, so there's none of this, oh, all the air signs. No, because in the healer you have Gemini, Hina, the Maiden of Blades, which would be the Knight of Swords. So this can very much be about you expressing yourself. Third house, self-expression, communication, as well as gathering information. And that's why I love thinking of Hina here as a butterfly goddess flying over a rainbow, right? Gathering information, going from flower to flower to flower to flower to flower, right? So this could be some introspection, certainly fueled by your vocation. Like, if we can get our vocation to manifest ourselves in our physical work, which is what I do every day, all my work, career, vocation is one movement of energy now. Took a while to get there. Then certainly this could be really looking at your thoughts, really looking at, as a healer, how you can not just heal yourself, but heal others. And through the quantum entanglement of unity consciousness, every time you heal yourself, you heal everybody else, right? A little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. Now, here's the tricky one. The vampire archetype in your career, you've got Passoe, however you want to say that, White Buffalo Woman, Capricorn, Cardinal, Earth. So this is the King of Pentacles. This is definitely, with that Saturn energy, about really looking inside of yourself and looking not just at the long term, like climbing up a mountain. Nobody runs up a mountain. But because of Saturn, the ringed planet, you're looking at your boundaries here. You're like, what are the boundaries that I am letting other people cross? Or, I don't want to say worse, but that's kind of the words they're giving me. Where am I crossing my own boundaries that I said I wouldn't cross? Right? Where am I sacrificing my heart's desire for somebody else, or my true passion, my true creativity? Now, I will say with the Capricorn card there, Cardinal Earth, and it even feels like it. It's like you have immense wealth inside of you, a lot of wisdom. You've certainly been through a lot. And probably, yeah, and everybody has vampired somebody, so let's not get too weird about that word, vampirism. But certainly this feels like you getting a real clear sense of your wisdom and your worth, and setting some boundaries here for you that are really going to be not just a foundation, like fixed earth Taurus, but on a mountain. Look how much grows on a mountain, in a mountain, through the mountain, off the mountain, right? Things that the mountain is there as part of their ecosystem, right? And your major arcana card is the Lovers here with the Hermit. Now, this is about a life-changing decision. This isn't a romance read. We'll see what else hits the table. But the vibe that I get here is that you are making sort of I don't mean borderline in a weird way, but like you're standing at the border of this life-changing decision. Am I going to align what I came into this life to do in my vocation, my spiritual calling, into my work in the world? You're still gathering information there as a healer in some way, shape, or form. But I have to deal with these vampires to do this. And how do I do that? I would say really pull back. It's hard for people to vampire you if they can't reach you, right? Hermit yourself. Go into prayer. Go into meditation. And, you know, if it comes down to it, ask your higher self, make the best decision for me. I'll do the best that I can, right? I accept that I have no idea what the best decision is for my work, career, and vocation in this situation. So make it for me on my behalf. Make it through me on my behalf, and I will do my best that I am now, and so it is. right? It's like that. Because a choice and a decision are not the same thing. This morning I had coffee. I have coffee every morning. That's a choice. It has a consequence. But a decision is just larger scale, right? That's it. I'm giving up the spiritual life and I'm going to go work as a barista so I get at least hopefully discounts on the coffee that I drink. You see, life changing. So it does feel like inspiration here it is in there, but you got to go deeper in and further up. Or whatever that was C.S. Lewis wrote in The Final Battle. What's this look like on the outer? Lower 3 chakras, either from the outside looking in at you, or you from the inside looking out at some aspect of the physical or something that affects lower 3 chakras. Now the second chakra, which will be featured here in some way, is about money and one-on-one relationships, particularly dealing with that vampire and how you're making your money here, but that can show up in all 3 as well. Please take a nice deep breath. As I call upon my gods of fire and the sign of Aries, please 3 cards in clarity for the Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this work, career, and vocation reading for August and September 2021. They've got the healer with healer in the 8th, Gemini on the inner. What do they got going on the outer? Lower 3 chakras. In their career, they've got the vampire in the 8th, Capricorn, Pessoa, the buffalo woman on the inner. What do they got on the outer? Nope, that's 2. Just leave the 1 card in my hand for their lower 3 chakras in their career. Yep, thank you. And for their vocation, they've got the Hermit with the Lovers, which is really feels like where their leverage is here. At least you know where you stand with the Hermit and the Lovers, that kind of life-changing vibe there, how to make the most loving, wise, empowered decisions, which certainly those 3 chakras here are really dealing with some vampirism. So what's going on for them on the outside? Please, let's see who you got. 1, 2, 3. Work. Okay. You got 2, but they're all minor arcana, 2 pentacles and a cup. And when you see who the cup is. So for the healer, like you said, and you have the healer in your work with the Gemini card on the inner, with 8 of Pentacles, you're working. You know, whether the work is with others, whether you're working on yourself, this does feel more physically, you know, nutritionally. It certainly can say, gather the information that you need for you, that you're getting the guidance from the inside on how to heal, I would think in particular, your body, your finances, right? Things, the physical tangibles of the world, because you are very, very close, I would say then, to, right, the next one would be the 9 of Pentacles. God bless the child that has their own. In your career, as we said, you got that vampire archetype. Now look, plenty of people have tried to drain me in my career, riding on coattails, silent sabotage, lies, illusions, deceptions, delusions, right, trying to steal shit from me. Never works out for them, honestly, because I'm a living archangel. I'm going to do a video on what I mean by that. It's not what you think. So this Capricorn, setting boundaries, but also knowing your worth here, climbing that mountain slow and steady wins the race with the 7 of Pentacles. Stepping back and appraising the situation. You might really have to, I'm going to go back to the archetype here, makes you aware that someone or something is draining your life force. Well, then this would certainly say, okay, let me... How doth thou drain me? Let me count the ways, right? It's like, well, that one's doing it and that one's doing it. Maybe you're in a nest, a vampire nest, because, you know, one vampire makes another and then they make another, and so on and so on and so on. You better like it if you know what that's from, because that means you're around my age. So that makes sense, right? And this is the interesting one. Hermit in the 8th. Lovers on the inner, 2 cups on the outer. And I know, oh, it's romance. Maybe. But I'm going to say this is a romance with the divine. The 2 of Cups is a very, very strong emotional attraction. even though in this card we have Eros and Psyche, let's see if I can do that with the lighting, right? Notice she's not looking at him because she's chained to a rock, right? He fell in love with her by pricking his finger on one of his golden arrows of love. The next card, they get married, but he doesn't want her to see him, because anybody who looks upon the god Eros instantly falls in love. He wants to be loved for who he truly is, not just how he looks. I can relate. So this might very well be about you kind of saying, all right, I'm gonna go into hermit phase and fall in love with my calling, fall in love with my higher self, my soul, this direction that I'm going in, and make the life decision. Another way of saying this is like, I am going to choose, because twos are always about a juggling choice, right? Certainly it's a relationship card, but in your vocation, I think this is about you really making a wise, loving, empowered decision to commit to your path, right? Very life-changing, and certainly how that manifests into physical form. If you are being vampired, when you let your light shine and they try and damp you down, it's because they're burning in your light, and light is truth. Yeah. Okay, last 3 cards down. You know I'm going to get you the Matt Kahn Healing Mantra deck to help you with this, right? I highly recommend this deck. It has been so helpful in healing for me personally and for my clients. And certainly if you do watch your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, you can write down all the mantras and make them into a paragraph, right? So if you do, so that's 12 mantras if you want. Last year for 2 months, right? Please take a nice deep breath. And we're not reading from the bookie book on this one, because I know these cards at this point. As I call upon the Ascended Masters of Work, Career, and Vocation, life purpose, please. What are the 3 mantras most helpful, most healing for the Aries Collective? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading August, September 2021. They've got the healer in their work, Gemini on the inner, 8 of Pentacles on the outer. There's your mantra. Not looking at it yet. In their career, they have the vampire in the 8th, Capricorn on the inner, 7 of Pentacles on the outer. So that one. And in their vocation, they've got the Hermit in the 8th, the Lovers on the inner, and the 2 of Cups on the outer, which, let's be honest, if this was a romance reading, they would be turning cartwheels. They'd be so happy. But imagine having that feeling for the divine, right? For their spiritual calling, their vocations. What's their perfect healing mantra for that? Let's see. Again, we got the healer, Gemini, 8 of Pentacles, illuminating the truth. This is my clairvoyant card. I'm willing to see things clearly no matter the outcome. It really is very freeing. Well, you might have to see some things you don't like, but isn't it better to know the truth, right? Illuminating the truth. And what do vampires do with truth, by the way? What do they do with light? That's why they bite you on the neck, right? Right? I'm willing to see things clearly, no matter the outcome, and certainly with that Gemini card on the inner, an intellectual card, a gathering energy card. Perhaps you are scoping and probing a little bit as you work, really looking for the truth, not just what's true. What's true is, right now I'm in the month of August, what's truth is that time itself is an illusion created only for linear experience. Where we come from is eternal, which doesn't mean all of time, it means timeless. Work. Career, vocation. In your vocation, you got the vampire, you've got the Capricorn, right? The mountain. You're going to go to the mountaintop, I'm pretty sure, symbolically speaking, maybe literally, to appraise the situation. You've got resolving anger. Conflict reminds me when I need more space for myself. You're going to take some space. There's someone who's draining you. And look, if you're ever unsure whether it's just you're having a bad day or somebody's draining you, this is in the video that I'm going to highly recommend that I did, which is in Vampires. Step away watch what happens, right? Mute your phone and just watch what happens, right? If they're like throwing every possible guilt, shame, blame thing at you, you're like, they're the one. That's who's doing it, right? Particularly if you have like scheduled days off but keeps drawing you back in, so you don't get the chance. Do you know what I mean? In any relationship, but particularly with a job, that you might be really seeing the truth here, that you are being drained by a job, but your creative energy. It's sort of like, I used to have Blue Apron. I don't anymore because after doing videos all day long, I was like, can I please just order a pizza? Like, no creative energy left. So, you kind of get what I'm saying there. So there's some anger here, and I think once you realize people are draining you, the obvious response is to be anger. Really, anger is a compensation for pain, but also anger is creative power blocked, right? But usually vampires don't know they're doing it. So that's a little bit of a saving grace, and don't bother trying to tell them that, because what happens when you hold up a mirror to a vampire? They can't see it. Can't see their own reflection. Lovely. Your vocation here. This is your leverage. Usually in one of these readings, I've done thousands of these, it feels like, for my clients. You got the Hermit, the Lovers, the Two of Cups. With celebrating simplicity, I am more fulfilled when there is less to manage and maintain. I think you're going to be cutting some people out, or at least some things out that have been draining you here. Not to become maybe hyper-focused on one particular thing here. But if that is the case, if you are going to pull back, you don't have to do that all at once, right? You do that gradually. That's why I do these readings 2 months. You know, this is August, September. So you might want to look at your July, August to see what led into this, if it resonates that way for you. That you're going to get this larger picture here, one that's in alignment with your calling, certainly your vocation, but the Hermit gets to do that. Now, just to show you, this Hermit card, if you look at the shape he's in a house, but he has become so large, so expanded, right? Opening that heart chakra there. I don't know if you can see it, but do you see that like burst of flame there in front of his chest? Really sort of opening up and letting their light out. And that is going to simplify things quite a bit for you, right? Just like GPS, right? On the ground, horizontally, you can't see what's what. But you see from the satellite, the 8th chakra. Oh, so that you can get everything in a new working order for yourself and then come back out into the world. So if we put these three together, I'm willing to see things clearly no matter the outcome. Conflict reminds me when I need more space for myself, and I am more fulfilled when there is less to manage and maintain. Let me put it together for you, and a blessing, as I do with every single reading I do here. Please take a nice deep breath. May the Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they need in their work, career, vocation, August and September 2021, that they may be the healer, dealing with the vampire from the viewpoint of the Hermit, gathering information in their physical world, taking the internal journey to set new boundaries and truly know their worth, making wise, loving, empowering decisions within their vocation, working hard, putting in the time, the energy to build something in their physical world, their work, their survival intuition, the 7 of Pentacles in their career, really appraising, assigning value, who and or what, and maybe both, and or is draining me, so that in their vocation they can really fall in love. They can really follow their hearts here, even though they don't know what's going to happen, to take that little next step from the 2 of Cups into the 3 of Cups, so that they can illuminate the truth, that they be willing to see things clearly no matter the outcome, that they can resolve their anger because conflict reminds them when they need more space for themselves, and so that they can celebrate simplicity. They are more fulfilled when there is less to manage and maintain, that they may serve themselves, their path, the gods, the higher power, and all of humanity, that they fulfill their life purpose for the well-being of all. So motivating. So it is. Hey, you've been blessed. And if you want a reading, you want to go further, check the links and all of that. My pleasure, my honor, and really my joy to be back home and doing these readings. Lovely going to Saratoga, but it's nice to come home because you never really know where you've been until you get back home, right? So thank you so much for watching, like, subscribe, and all that jazz. Go read my book, blah, 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 read the links. Watch the Vampires and Witches, you know all of that. Farewell, and blessed, blessed be.